I'm Leah President.
And I'm Angela Kerndl.
Tonight on UI7 News at 5, we discuss the Champaign County election results. Not a whole lot of turnover as incumbents held tight to their seats. And there are also plans to fund a new fire station.
Plus, we preview all the fun events and fundraisers just in time for Mom's Weekend. And it was quite the week on the diamond for both of Illinois baseball and softball teams. We've got all that and more coming up next.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio at the University of Illinois campus, UI7 News, your U of I news source.
Welcome to UI7 News. I'm Leah President.
And I'm Angela Kerndl. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon.
The results are in for the Champaign County elections, and it looks like not much is changing this cycle. Deborah Finan won re-election for Champaign mayor, defeating challenger Azar Cobbs by a wide margin of 84% to 16%. It was a big victory for incumbent candidates, with all three city council members up for re-election keeping their seats. Tom Bruno, William Kiles, and Matthew Gladney will be back in their chairs at the next city council meeting, with John Youakim coming closest to unseating Kiles. He lost by just 2% of the vote. Some referendums pass around as the county as Camargo approved a $600,000 new fire station. Carroll Township approved their own $500,000 new station.
While Champaign voted to keep their mayor, Chicagoans elected a new one. Lori Lightfoot defeated Toni Preckwinkle in a landslide victory to become the first black female mayor of the city and the first openly gay mayor of Chicago as well. CNN's Ryan Young has more.
Go.
A woman who's never been elected to office has busted Chicago's longtime Democratic political machine. Lori Lightfoot dominated Tuesday's mayoral runoff, crushing her opponent, a career politician, by nearly 50 points. The former assistant U.S. attorney made fighting crime and the political corruption that has plagued Chicago politics for decades bedrocks of her campaign. At least 2 city aldermen are currently caught up in FBI investigations, with one already facing federal charges.
We can and we will break this city's endless cycle of corruption. And never again, never, ever allow politicians to profit from elected positions.
Born and raised in Ohio, Lightfoot's mother worked as a healthcare aide. Her father worked in a factory and as a janitor. Lightfoot often brings up her own background while promising to improve the city school system and bridge the economic gap between city neighborhoods.
I want to make sure that kids who look like me and are growing up in families like mine have the opportunity at their fingertips.
Together, we can and will make Chicago a place where your zip code doesn't determine your destiny.
This is actually historic because Lori is not a part of the Democratic machine, right? So this is the first time that the machine won't have oil under her leadership, which means that it'll filibuster and we'll have a seat at the table for change for all Chicagoans. And that's very meaningful.
Not to mention, Lightfoot is also breaking barriers, becoming mayor of the largest U.S. city to elect an African-American female mayor who also identifies as a lesbian.
It's a historical moment, a lot of hope for all women around the world, all diversity.
In breaking news, Boeing is taking responsibility in the 737 jet crash that killed nearly 400 people. Dennis Muhlenberg, the CEO of the aircraft company, admitted that a failure of its software was the main cause of the crash. He said that a software update would be ready to be implemented within the next few weeks, and that Boeing remained confident in the safety of its jets.
Construction on Wright Street has continued and is still disrupting students' commute to class. But other than sidewalks, what else is being replaced? UI7's Ori Benatar takes us between the fences near the quad.
MCOR's Project 4 has continued around Wright Street and Armory Avenue as part of a 5-step plan for the city through 2021. The current phase's goal is to create better driving lanes, wider sidewalks, integrated bike lanes, and updating the water main system. But with all these new improvements taking time to complete, students are upset with the new bus paths and longer commutes. Freshman Daniel Owen has found it just inconvenient.
That's super inconvenient. The bookstore, Transit Plaza, that whole area is a really convenient place to get, and it is more difficult to navigate around.
Quad construction continuing here around U of I. As you can see all the way around me, looking like a BMX track over here as the entire sidewalk has been lifted all the way stretched out to the Armory. Students unable to walk this way, but if we come over here right now, you can see the sidewalk is also closed all the way out to Altgeld. So students forced to walk towards this direction into the quad for the rest of the school year as the construction project continues.
MCOR and Public Works understands how construction on campus has disrupted student commutes. Chris Koster, a public information officer for the City of Champaign Public Works, explains how this phase had to start now rather than in the summer.
This work takes this long, and we certainly understand people needing to get places, and trying to, most of the work we try to do only during the summer.
In Urbana, I'm Ori Benatar, UI7 News.
A renewed version of the Bruce Nesbitt African American Cultural Center is almost ready to open its doors. The center's opening will be on April 9th. However, the construction is not done yet. The crews will be finishing up the sidewalks and other concrete work this week. This is a $5.9 million project. It was funded through donations, university funding, and student fees that support diversity programs. The new Black Center has been designed as a welcoming space for Black students on campus. Here's what we can expect after the inauguration of the center.
There are going to be some additions. We're actually hoping to provide some dance classes, some cooking classes, and some other things that we'll do in conjunction with student organizations. We're closer to the other cultural centers, so it may be easier to do more collaborations with them as well.
The center is located on Matthews and Nevada in Urbana. It was designed as a home for Black students. However, its doors are open to everyone on campus.
More on construction. Out with the old and in with the new. Downtown Champaign is preparing to transition into a new phase. UI7's Kira Kirsch tells us what the community has to look forward to in the coming years.
Downtown Champaign has been around for many years, and so have its businesses. But in order to keep growing, the town needs more space. Restaurants such as Distill, Radio Maria, Baccaro, and 51 Main have already closed or announced plans to move from the downtown area. Champaign City Planner TJ Blakeman recognizes that this may sound alarming, but he says that these changes are valuable and will ultimately benefit the community and its residents.
Sometimes there's tourism that comes with a project. Obviously, we've built a very strong district in downtown that has grown to be known regionally, nationally, and so people come and visit and spend their dollars, so it's bringing dollars from outside the community into the communities.
Downtown Champaign has grown from housing 10 businesses to about 50 businesses in the last 10 years. Blakeman says that overall feedback by the community regarding these future changes has been positive as its residents notice the growth in the last decade.
As these changes begin in downtown Champaign, the community is eager and excited to see what's coming in next in their town. However, this is not going to be the last big evolution that downtown Champaign faces. The future is very bright for this town.
Some residents that are newer to the community are also optimistic about the change. Ryan Pess recently moved to Champaign from Los Angeles and is excited to hear that the city is expanding.
There's a lot of cool places, but seeing it grow and continue to grow and really create like nightlife and that kind of stuff would be awesome.
Pest is unsure of how long he will be living in Champaign, but the plans for downtown have no time restraint. Blakeman says that the town will never be finalized. Construction downtown is already beginning as the transitions are underway. In Champaign, this is Kira Kirsch, UI7 News.
Another cultural center on campus welcomed a new addition to their home on Monday. Members of the national group Artists for Israel spray painted a mural dedicated to the Illini Hillel Center. Pro-Israel RSOs helped kick off this first week of Israel Week. The artwork is meant to promote peace, unity, and love of Jewish culture. Students of all backgrounds participated in the activity by expressing themselves on the back side of the mural. The event also became an opportunity to discuss issues of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Some students say that in a time when they're constantly challenged by anti-Semitic sentiments, this is one of many ways they stand together in harmony with a word that stands out most to them, shalom, or peace.
Coming up after the break, we've got plenty more local news for you.
That's right, we get to learn all about the Idea Store and check out a live art show taking place in Champaign.
We'll also preview some events for Mom's Weekend. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Welcome to this year's acapella tryouts. It'd be nice if we had some talent around here. I might have to join myself. Zoom 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 zoom.
Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend.
Yeah, yeah. Since you've been gone.
Are there no backup dancers? Okay. Wow, wow, wow. Hi, my name's Mariah, and my hobbies include cuticle care and CI living.
It's all you ever hear me say.
Since GMI, I can't breathe for the first time.
Welcome back. Let's get right back into some more local stories.
Have you ever heard the expression that one person's trash is another's treasure? Well, UI7's Gary Walker takes a look at a unique place where people can donate items that can be recycled into something beautiful.
It began in 2010 when the Champaign-Urbana School Foundation wanted to help teachers find affordable classroom supplies and keep reusable goods out of our landfill. Co-founder Carol Jo Morgan talks about one item that can be brought there to be used for many things.
Fabrics are especially reusable. I mean, even little tiny scraps of things can be incorporated in all kinds of art projects. Teachers especially love the fabrics.
Executive Director and Manager Jesse Rudall was only able to provide a written statement about their profits since the move. But the store is still committed to community outreach. Recently, they participated in the Youth Literature Festival at the iHotel last Saturday. Here at the 2019 Youth Literature Festival, the Idea Store today is doing their community outreach. They're showing kids how to make new books out of old books. Like in this book, they're showing the goat on this page. And there's sheet music on this page. And there's like a blank sheet where you could write a story using your pencil. Members of the community are happy that we have this wonderful resource in this community. Elizabeth Paulus commented how she thinks the store is great for the arts and crafts enthusiasts.
I love the Idea Store. It's just a great place to get inexpensive things for crafting and decorating and gift ideas.
In Champaign, I'm Gary Walker, UI7 News.
The Other Guys a cappella group had their 50th anniversary reunion concert at the Krannert Center for the Performing Arts this week. I got to go check it out.
You may know the a cappella group for their song about the moral plots, but at their concert, they also did pop songs across generations. Men from every generation of the group since its founding in 1969 came out to perform at the reunion concert. For 5 decades, they've charmed audiences with their humor, catchy arrangements, and have nearly 20 recordings, all in their iconic blue sweaters. Jenna Tebben is the girlfriend of one of the current Other Guys.
They're just
bigger versions of themselves when they're off stage.
Peter Georgiorian graduated in 2015 and says being an other guy has changed his life for the better.
And there's all different walks of life. People have gone down different paths, but we all have this kind of common thing, odd common thing.
Jerry Hicks is one from way back. He was part of the group in 1971.
And we were forging something new that we didn't even know what we were getting into at the time. But we got the tour all over campus and we sang at sorority houses. So, you know, that was fun in those days. Any way you could get in was fun. And we did things in Springfield and other places. So we were kind of a little bit of a torch of the University of Illinois by doing those things.
The alumni performed by era, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And a massive All Other Guys finale to celebrate a half a century of music making.
It's fantastic. Just you know, it's a humbling experience. It makes you realize you're part of something much bigger than yourself, and it's, you know, makes you feel pretty proud.
The School of Music and Performing Arts' advisory board hosted a discussion about mental health at the Music Building last week. Angela, didn't you get a chance to go over there and hear some stories?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Let's take a look.
Music education student and singer-songwriter Noah Middaugh says he's been struggling with depression since he was in 7th grade. He shared his story during the forum and also expressed his concerns with the way the college is structured.
This practice, this art, makes demands on both mind and body all the time. You have to be mindful of the health of your mind and body. It's not just about sitting at a desk and studying, correct?
Middaugh says abiding by a strict schedule makes his life less stressful while also allowing him to play music just for fun.
So I found that taking time out of my day to write music that doesn't have any, consequence with my coursework is really important.
Noelle Wan is a third-year graduate student at U of I and is an advisory board member for the college. She says mental health has been a priority for them this year especially.
People really said, we have to talk about this. We can't just say, if you're a musician, you should just practice 8 hours a day and be fine.
Some suggestions from the forum include more flexible attendance policies in the college, improved access to school services, and murals to liven up the practice rooms. Middaugh says he's fortunate enough to have a private therapist, but acknowledges that not all people have access to one.
If anybody's going to see this who's struggling with some things, I would really, really encourage you to talk to your peers, talk to people who can help you. I know that the counseling center is a very, very flawed system, but still try. It is worth trying, it is worth talking to people, and don't give up on talking about it. Because really, I think maybe more than anything, that's what's really helped me the most.
Coming up, Ori Benatar has your full weekend weather forecast.
Stick around, we'll be right back.
We all know that Illinois is full of very bright students across many social economic backgrounds. The Illinois commitment would send a very strong message that this university is affordable to all of those students who have worked hard and prepared themselves to be successful here. This will be a game changer for a number of families across this state that, yes, you can afford an Illinois education.
I am a three-time alumni, and I came to school on a scholarship. I was a student who my parents were not going to pay for my college education. So I would have been one of those students who wouldn't have come to college if the Illinois commitment weren't in place. So I'm very happy that we are providing the opportunities to students to get a college education.
Welcome back. We have some great stories coming up, but first, let's talk about weather.
Spring weather is finally here, and Ori Benatar is here in the studio to give us a full forecast for the week. Ori?
Thanks, Leah. Yeah, we're going to take a look at some weekend weather right now. As you can tell, I'm inside because guess what? It's raining. As we're going to take a look now at your forecast for tonight. Showers are expected throughout the evening. As you can see, it's going to be around in the high 50s, approaching the 60s. Sunset around 7:20, but we've got basically a north green cell coming up throughout Illinois. So there should be showers throughout the evening, all the way up to about midnight, 1 a.m. As let's take a look at tomorrow's forecast. Gonna hit up to the 60s, should be mostly cloudy. The sun will pop up a little bit more. A great time to maybe go see some Illinois baseball, Illinois softball, as well as Mom's Weekend. Good way to start. Let's go zoom out now to the local temperatures around the 50s and the 60s right now there. Again, it's going to be raining all over central Illinois in Rantoul and Decatur in Springfield, so everyone going to be needing their umbrellas there. Let's go to the Midwest temperatures now. The one to point out there is Chicago. 42 right now. They're still not getting spring there up in the Windy City. Still pretty cold, raining up there. But how about Louisville with 70-degree temperatures, around 60, high 50s around the Midwest as we take a look at the temperatures around the United States. Minneapolis, obviously the big city this weekend with the men's Final Four taking place. Fans from East Lansing, Lubbock, Charlottesville, and Auburn going up there, around 47 in Minneapolis. High temperatures in Dallas and Phoenix. Women's Final Four in Tampa Bay. And we should be definitely looking for some Illini baseball and softball this weekend in CU. As we take a look at the 5-day forecast right now, we should have some storms potentially on Sunday, so we could see a rain delay in those games for Mom's Weekend. Beautiful temperatures on Friday and Saturday, around 70 degrees. But again, watch out for Sunday for some storms and some showers. Monday and Tuesday, though, we're getting around to the 60s, so those spring temperatures are hitting. Monday should be nice, but we could be seeing some Tuesday rain as we are in the first full weekend of April. So that's your weather forecast for right now. Let's send it back to the desk, guys.
Thanks, Sori. 8 to Create hosts their 5th annual live art show where 8 artists have 8 hours to create their own work of art live at the Link Art Gallery. The show offers a rare opportunity for the public to experience the creative processes live and up close. This year's event features artists from Trackley Soom to Julia Morrison, Sierra Murphy, and more. The mission is to provide an opportunity for students to gain professional art and design experience and to engage in the community. Also, to continue to support live art showcases each year.
Our art show is about
8 to Create
demystifying the creative process. So by inviting the public to actively engage with artists while they create, we unearth the underlying factor that art is for the community. And I think that really reflects in our effect on the U of I art community as well as the local art community. It's done a lot in unifying the two, like lots of networking happens at 8 to Create between artists and students.
Coming up, we have Ariel Majewski with sports. Ariel, what are we looking at this week?
Well, we have a lot of coverage inside the stadiums and on the playing fields. First, it's time to raise a glass to the Illini Athletic Department's latest concessions announcement.
Recent years. This drop
Then
in
we have
performance
updates on the
has deterred
NCAA
many
men's
fans
and
from
women's
coming games,
semifinals,
as the football team is
and
coming
2
off
Illinois
its lowest
teams dominating the Diamonds so far this spring season. Stay tuned for more after the break.
Should I give her my...
Others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Welcome back to UI7 News. I'm Ariel Majewski. It's time for your sports update. For as long as Illinois athletics have been around, tailgating has been the closest thing to a beer at the stadium. But with Tuesday's announcement, that will be changing in the near future. Thomas Polson reports.
No secret that the on-field product here at the University of Illinois has not been up to standards in recent years. This drop in performance has deterred many fans from coming to games as the football team is coming off its lowest attendance numbers since 1945. But the athletic department has made a move that they hope will bring some change in the simple addition of one product to the concession stands: beer. On Tuesday morning, the athletic department released a statement saying that it will add beer to public concession options and general seating at both Memorial Stadium and the State Farm Center starting next fall. Senior Associate Director of Athletics Marty Kaufman explains their decision.
We also have been surveying our fans in the last couple of years when we've asked what would enhance their game day or make them want to attend more games. Having public access to beer was the number one option that they chose. So all of those combined kind of led to making the decision now.
Now I am currently out here at Grange Grove, a tailgating location outside Memorial Stadium, which could look a lot more crowded as soon as next year. And according to Kaufman, fans may not have to wait until fall to grab a beer at an Illinois game.
There's a campus administrative manual that has to be updated, and that should be updated within the next 10 days. And assuming that happens, which we don't anticipate any issues, then we actually will probably start selling beer at baseball for the last 3 series this year, which would be in April. But we won't start with softball or football or men's and women's basketball until starting with the fall of 2019.
Kaufman added that the athletic department plans to add more security and maintenance staff in order to ensure a safe and clean game day experience. In Champaign, Tom Polson, UI7 News.
Shifting stadiums. One Big Ten team is left in the NCAA's men for final coming up this Saturday. Michigan State pulled out a thrilling one-point win over top seed Duke in the Elite Eight last Sunday. With 39 seconds left on the clock, forward Kenny Gowen swished a three-pointer, taking the Spartans into the winning lead with 68 points. Duke's 21-point scorer, R.J. Barrett, missed a key free throw down the stretch that could have tied the game. The 17-7 turnover battle ended with Cassius Winston dribbling out the final seconds. Now let's check out Saturday's two-tournament schedule. First, we have number 1 Virginia playing number 5 Auburn at 5:09 p.m. Then Michigan State is taking on Texas, and Michigan State is the only team at this point to have won a championship, meaning there could be a first-timer taking this year's title. And coming up tomorrow on the Women's Final Four Primer, we have newcomer Oregon competing against top seed Baylor at 6 p.m. Following at 8 are former national champions UConn and Notre Dame. Now time for a local recap on games with the Diamonds. Illinois baseball earned a key victory Tuesday over 19th-ranked Coastal Carolina. The Illini snapped a 4-game losing streak with a 4-2 victory over the Chancelleers. Illinois rallied around an explosive 4-run first inning that kept them ahead for good. The offense clicked with Braden Comia, lasting the 2-run in the first inning. The Illinois scored restless but withstood Carolina comeback thanks to the 5 scoreless innings issued by the Illini bullpen. Illinois followed Tuesday night's win with another big win Wednesday to sweep the series. Illini softball also won this week with 2-1 against Illinois State at Eichelberger Field last night. The Redbirds took the lead early in the game by scoring on an error in the second inning. The Illini made their comeback thanks to home run senior Stephanie Abello. The game remained quiet and tied at 1-1 until the 7th inning. A walk-off single by Kiana Sherlum broke the tie. Taylor Edwards pitched the 5 in the 3rd innings, allowing only 1 run. The Illini hope to continue their winning streak this weekend against Minnesota during a 3-week game Big Ten Conference Series. And that's it for your sports update. I'm Ariel Majeski.
It's already Mom's Weekend coming up, and students are making plans to show their moms just how much they love them.
Ever to show your mom a good time this weekend. U of I senior Megan Mokate is excited for the good weather that is expected in the next 2 days, which is perfect timing for her parents coming to visit her over the weekend.
When they stay overnight, it's a lot more fun because then we don't have to worry about them getting home, and I feel like we can all just hang out, and it's like a normal night on campus, but with my parents there, which is the dream.
There are also many ways students can make a difference with their moms with the countless philanthropy events that will be occurring. Philanthropy Chair of Pre-Physician Assistant Club, Rachel Ron, is putting together the Moving for a Match 5K run, which is raising money and awareness for donating bone marrow.
Yeah, so we're raising money for Be the Match Foundation, which is the National Bone Marrow Donor Registry Program. They sign people up to donate bone marrow to people with blood cancer, and yeah, I'm actually a donor.
Here at Memorial Stadium is also where hundreds of students and their parents will gather around for a community and campus service event, which will involve packaging food and meals for families of Illinois who are less fortunate than others. James Berg is also a U of I junior who plans on also showing his mom a great time on campus through all of the events and activities that are available.
my parents are just, my mom's just fun, so it's just fun being with her. She's like one of my best friends, so just overall being with her, always a good time.
In Urbana, this is Will Bro with UI7 News.
Well, that's all we have for today's broadcast. We hope you have a great Mom's Weekend and enjoy the great weather.
Thanks for tuning in.